Everything's computer.
Really, things are run by morons. Really, really. That's what it is, folks. That's what it is. I hate to break it to you. I hate to break it to you.
Everything's computer.
And everything's run by Maroons. Maroons. Did you see the coolest Halloween decorations this year? Woman in Georgia wins decorated house of the month. These are cool. If you're gonna decorate for Halloween, this is the way to do it. This is the way, as the Mandalorian says. Was the Mandalorian's real name Jakar Hagin? I don't remember, but if you could see skeleton coming out of the roof. There's more over here I'll show you in a minute, and then you can see the Putin puppet master with old Donnie, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's the president, Donnie Trump. And then over here is JD, the couch while I was on Snap, Vance. And then you have the minions. Satan's little minions. Oh, Ice Barbie, probably Miller, Levitt, Kegseth. But if you didn't see, happy day before Halloween for those who celebrate. Atmosphere released a great album with a song titled The Day Before Halloween. Was the album called The Day Before Halloween? I think so. Anyways, to all the Atmosphere fans, solidarity with you. May you listen to Day Before Halloween, this and every day before Halloween. For those in New England who called it Cabbage Night, behave. And to the rest of you, a merry Halloween Eve. A very merry Halloween Eve to you. They just don't say that anymore in the stores. You ever notice that? You ever notice that when you go out, nobody says Merry Halloween Eve anymore? Unreal. I'm sure Tim Pool's going to cover that on his program today. You know, the Tim Pool Big Kids News Time Hour, where we read headlines and then maybe not the rest of the story, depending on if we have time to embarrass ourselves. The Tim Pool program Showgram and the Polio Rogan program Showgram. I wonder if they're bringing up this part of the culture war that you just don't hear about too often. You know, I'm kind of living on an island all alone out here saying, not many people are saying Merry Halloween Eve, you know? It's the woke right that killed off Merry Halloween Eve. It's the woke right that doesn't let you celebrate All Hallows Eve and dress up to scare away the demons. You know, the woke right, the hard right, as I saw someone call them. So we're taking that back. We're going to start saying Merry Halloween Eve again. You know, that's the one part of the culture war all imbibing. I will. So when you're out today, you wish everybody a Merry Halloween Eve. Not happy holidays, okay? None of that. You say Merry Halloween Eve. Okay, we're going to get into some news. But before we get into some news, it's a season, as, you know, they say in the Hallmark movies, Hallmark Channel movies. 'Tis the season. Tonight on the Hallmark Channel, a domestic violence survivor wonders if she can celebrate Halloween even though it reminds her of her ex. And to her surprise, falls in love. This week on Hallmark. We're going to get to some news. Don't worry. I'm not just rambling. I am just rambling, but I'm not just rambling. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to show you this very important. This is the way to decorate. I'll do a close-up. Who's your daddy? It's clearly a skeleton of Putin. Although I must say, not life-size replica skeleton of Putin, because I believe Putin is like, you know, he's Joe Rogan height. He's like 4'9". Sorry. So let's zoom in. That is this person in Georgia, I believe it was, who won Halloween Eve, who won Halloween decorations. Which good on you, in Georgia, which is traditionally a blue state, but gerrymandered to red. Illegally redistrict, illegally saying when I take over, when the leftists take over, and one person counts for one vote, you'll figure out that, you know, most people want healthcare. So this is George W. Putin. Is that his name? I forget. Vladdy Putin. But that's George W. Happy solstice. Is today solstice? Today's not the 21st or 2nd of anything. What are you talking about? Solstice was in September. Who's saying solstice? Jesus. But we're gonna go through. We're gonna get to Billie Eilish. Okay. Don't you go breaking my heart. Don't you go breaking my heart. Okay. We're gonna get to Billie Eilish, and not only do I love her songs, birds flock together, go and flock together. You know that song? I think that's how it goes. But now I love Billie Eilish on a whole new level. As some people call her, William Eilish. You may know her as Billie. I'm not too informal with her, so I call her Sir William Eilish III. And I love her. She's amazing, and she accepted some kind of award at the Wall Street Journal. What are you doing at the Wall Street Journal Innovator Awards, Billie? Just tell them to piss off, You should be writing songs like Birds of a Feather. They all flock together. Absolutely amazing song. What a lyricist, old William Eilish. But we're going to get to that in a minute. Because we're close to All Hallows Eve, Sam Wayne, or whatever you want to call it, I wanted to show you this. This is a great, if you're going to still own a home, what are you, from the 80s? You own in a home, Jesus. If you still own a home and you're not renting with 40 other people and chipping in every week for egg, this is the way to decorate. Okay? You understand me? You paying attention? I'm going to flunk you if you're not paying attention. Bingo. All right, so we're going... I love that. Did you know?
Everything's computer.
It is. And by the way, the reason you can still do this in America is because they
legalize comedy.
They legalize comedy, so that's why this is allowed. But that's Vladdy Putin. This one is wannabe dictator with his, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's the president makeup. I'm on the Epstein list. So funny. Tuck Frump, Duck Trump, Glunk Glunk, Chunk Lunk. Here's his very important person. All I do is vacation. I did not have sexual relations with that couch. Oh, this dude. Isn't that funny that J.D. Vance growing up was on Snap and now he's making sure kids don't get Snap? Really, the worst kind of people become Republicans. Democrats aren't much better, but at least they're trying to fight for premiums to not go up. Insurance I mean, it's such scraping the bottom of the barrel. This whole lot of politicians is just rubbish. But this, I wanted to show you this. This is such a great, look at this. RIP diversity, equality, inclusion. Here lies freedom of speech. Democracy dies in silence. RIP women's rights. You can see Caroline Levitt, Pete Kegseth. His name's Pete. Loser. No offense to the other Pete's, just this turd. Who gets Botox, by the way. He said, we want our army to be more manly. I'm wondering if he was saying, you're totally allowed to do Botox. Because that's what he does. He gets Botox. So he doesn't like beards, but Botox. But the gender-affirming Botox, so he doesn't have wrinkles. It's so weird what hypocritical little bitches they are. And then here's Lady Liberty taken in by ICE, and I don't know what that sign says. No kings. That's a cool setup this house has. Big shout out to these people. Big shout out. Um, let's do some meme news. Did you see the recent layoffs? UPS. Oh, by the way, before we talk about the layoffs, remember when Republicans were saying they're stealing your jobs, and they were referring to poor people that were immigrating here? It turns out they weren't. Your jobs are being taken by robots and greedy CEOs. So you could. I'm not even going to read through this. This is all the layoffs happening. Okay. Store closures, layoffs. They gotta cut the workers because the CEO needs a couple more nickels to rub together so uh, he can fix his elevator on the yacht. Okay. By the way, here's a lesson in media literacy provided by Darren on Blue Sky. Love Blue Sky. Find me on Blue Sky. The public, we need sandwiches. Republicans, we agree, you need sandwiches. Democrats, we agree, you need sandwiches. Republicans, we're voting Sunday at 5 on a bill that gives us ham sandwiches and gives everybody else poop sandwiches. Democrats, that's not going to help anyone. Republicans, Democrats oppose sandwiches. Media, breaking. Democrats vote against sandwich bill. And this is what happens with the mainstream media, the lame stream media, every single day. That's why you subscribe to this channel. And we make fun of this stuff. We joke about the news because the news is a joke. I mean, when you got old Just Dance Vance over here, who, the reason he's, a rotund little VP is because he lived off a Snap. So for all those absolute garbage people who, say something about people who receive SNAP, I fully support SNAP. It's already funded. Our tax dollars already allotted by Congress. The Democrats are, pushing for that. And the people who control everything right now, Donald Trump and his horde, his legion of Skeletors. Why does the JD Vance one have a beard? He's got a beard now, right? Yeah. But they are refusing to use the reserves to fund SNAP. And I'm always in support of my tax dollars helping to feed Americans, especially those who need it the most. And anybody that's against that, then, shit on this dude first. Just do me that favor. Oh, yeah. And remember in this where it said RIP DEI? It turns out, guys, DEI is not dead. Look at this. Trump's oldest granddaughter, Kai, recently came in last place at a junior tournament, finishing with a 58 over par. I don't know much about golf, but I'm guessing 58 over par is horrible. She just received the sponsor exemption to play in the Annika LPGA tournament next month. The penultimate event? What is that? Of the 2025 LPGA season. Featuring a $3 million pot and top pro golfers. Now, I don't know much about golf, but is it good to come in last place in a tournament? Is that how you further your career? Or would you say this is diversity, equity, and inclusion, but not in like any kind of way where they would say we're not just going to hire the white dude, the guy with a white name. This is more of like if you're related to Donald Trump, it doesn't matter if you come in last, they'll still put you in a $3 million tournament. Absolute joke. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's some more meme news. Breaking: Trump banned states from being able to wipe medical debt from American credit reports. Biden-Harris administration had moved to wipe medical debt from credit reports. Now, this new rule will keep $220 billion of medical bills on Americans' records. I guess that's what they meant by American exceptionalism, because no other country, man. No other country. Let's see. Oh, I always talk about Graham Plattner. If you're in Maine, vote for Graham Plattner for Senate. Absolute amazing dude. Pushing to fight the oligarchy, tax billionaires, universal health care is a human right. for the working class of Maine. And if you've heard something about Graham, there's so many different stories. Just know that it's probably the Democrats that are going after him. And one of them is this lady right here, Janet Mills, who I've seen be interviewed. And she's a shitbag just like the other Democrats. She sided with Republicans to veto legislation to let workers discuss pay and working conditions with other workers. That helps all workers. If you can't discuss your pay, that's federally protected. But if you can't discuss your working condition and pay with other workers, you know who that protects? The bosses, the CEOs, the management. Doesn't help workers. And after she vetoed that, the Democrat leaders recruited her to run for Senate. So you might see her running for Senate against Graham Plattner and vote for Graham. What else do we have from meme news? MTG, old horse legs herself. The Republican-controlled Senate used the nuclear option today to override the 60-vote rule in order to confirm over 100 Trump nominees, yet continues to claim Democrats are causing the shutdown. Republicans in the Senate can also use the nuclear option to reopen the government and override the Democrats, just like they literally did. Anyways, they're not going to because the Epstein files are rough. The president's all over them. And Democratic, newly elected senator, congressperson, would be the tie-breaking vote, and Mike Johnson, old little Mike Johnson, is trying to hide them. So we don't reform a dystopia. We replace it. We're going to get to Billie Eilish, folks. We're going to get to Billie Eilish, and I'm going to play the audio for you. But I found some more interesting stuff in the meme news. Conservatives. The radical left are vicious terrorists who hate America, destroy our cities, and kill patriots. They're a real threat to democracy. Also conservatives. Remember we talked about this? These are the young Republicans. These are the people, buddy, that are a real threat to democracy, America. We're going to get to Billie Eilish. I promise you. I promise you. The other thing I found hilarious is, remember when we were taking down those traitorous Confederate statues, which they should all be taken down. We should let everybody who wants to go to the bathroom on them if they want, and then we should burn them. And we should warm the cockles of our hearts by the fire, roast marshmallows, burn every Confederate statue. Remember, the Confederacy was a foreign enemy to America. In case you don't know your history, the Civil War was fought between America and the Confederacy. So they were traitorous. And we shouldn't have any foreign combatant statues in America, if you ask me. But a lot of these MAGAs would, clutch their pearls and feign their upsetness over their heritage, they called it. Oh, horrible heritage, by the way. But now that Donald Trump has destroyed the East Wing, you don't hear them saying anything about a real heritage of a country. And he did it illegally. He didn't ask for public comment. He didn't get the correct whatever. He just went ahead and bulldozed it. What else? Oh, I love this because you see this all the time with the SNAP story in the news. People saying, why the hell are we giving food stamps to 40 million people? Does anyone work anymore? And thankfully, there was someone to enlighten the others and educate. Almost half of food stamp recipients work. Of the other half that don't work, most are over 65 or caregivers or disabled. We're giving food stamps to 40 million people because we don't pay a living wage. Not we, but the CEOs. All of Trump's friends that bribed him and donated to his inauguration and paid him off, they don't pay a living wage and don't otherwise support elderly, the disabled, and caregivers. This is America right now. This is what it is, okay? So we're giving food stamps to people who work, including the people I know who use them. They work. And the others are elderly, caregivers, or disabled. Because somehow Americans had been propagandized for the past 40, 50 years to think that working 3 jobs and still worrying about the price of egg is somehow normal or okay. Which it's neither. It's not normal, and it's certainly not okay in a wealthy country where we're going to have half a trillionaire right now, but soon to be a trillionaire in illegal immigrant Elon Musk. And because I'm at my computer, I'm just going to play Kimball Musk, who is Elon's brother, detailing that they were illegal immigrants. I'm not going to play the whole interview, just the clip I took from it.
They realized that we were illegal immigrants.
That's Kimball Musk saying they realized Elon and I, were illegal immigrants here in America. So you're okay with that illegal immigrant, not paying enough, so people still have to be on food stamps, but you're not okay with taxing them? Make it make sense, man. Make it make sense. Fun fact, J.D. Vance was on food stamps as a child, but nowadays he says SNAP recipients are freeloaders. And he just says stuff like that. Same with Donald Trump. They just say this stuff so they're little baby birds, the maggots, M-A-G-A-T-S. Because when J.D. Vance says this, what he's doing is he's the mama bird, and he's regurgitating, has already eaten food into the MAGA's mouth. And then they go around going, freeloader, freeloader, freeloader. And that's all they do, because they have no original thoughts of their own. All they want is go back to the status quo or make it worse for other people. So J.D. Vance, freeloader in his own words, I would say a hungry kid through no fault of his own, besides the robber barons of 2025. In the year of our Lord 2025, we have technocrat criminals who commit wage theft in not paying people enough, so that children need to, in the vice president's word, be called freeloaders because they're starving in America. It's so funny when people will think of hungry people in America as freeloaders rather than critique the whole system that allows the wealthiest nation in the world to have hungry children. But again, the propaganda is strong. If you want to know why the propaganda is strong, you have the illusion of choice. I like to say, go to the cereal aisle, see how many flavors of Cinnamon Toast Crunch you got. And they're all made by the same company. See how many different boxes of cereal, different kinds, different flavors. They're all made by what? 2 companies? Same with the media. And make no mistake, Joe Rogan is one of these mainstream medias now. He has CIA, Peter Thiel, just Thiel with it. He's Peter Thiel and friends on, and Joe Rogan is just a propaganda, another arm piece of this regime, normalizing this heinous stuff. Why? Because he's a billionaire who moved to a taxless state of Texas and doesn't care about his people or freedoms, lets his people freeze while the representatives fly off to Cancun. And just wants to live in his little safe space, the little Joe Rogan bubble, where he can sauna and ice bath and record it for other men to watch. But you have the illusion of choice. There's 1,500 newspapers, 1,100 magazines, 9,000 radio stations, 1,500 TV stations, 2,400 publishers, and they're owned by 6 corporations. 272 executives who make probably more money than most of us in the country, and they control 90% of what 277 people see, hear, and read. So I think that's all of the meme news. Remember, folks, that's why we say when institutions fail, you don't reform them, you replace them. I can't wait to see what we're going to build in America, because as soon as we get rid of these billionaires and they just have to be 999 millionaires, because everything over 999 million, we're going to tax them at 100%. So they're gonna have to find a way to make it by with 999 million. I know some of you in the comments, the bots from Albania and Algeria. Where is it? Let me have the president, who's such a smart genius, a very genius.
Azerbaijan and Albania.
Azerbaijan and Albania, the bots. I know you guys get upset when I talk about taxing the rich, but you know what? If they can't afford 100% tax on $1 billion, maybe they're living outside of their means. You ever think of that? If you have $999 million and you're like, oh, you can't tax me, then maybe you're living outside of your means, don't you think? Maybe you shouldn't buy an avocado iPhone every day and eat it. So, we are going to get to the story of the day. Billie Eilish, I'm trying out for your group. Are you going to start a group? Or is it just going to be you and your brother? Is that her brother? I'm just fucking with you. I know that's Mark Zuckerberg. I could identify a turd anywhere. You say you identify turds, boy? I do. I can identify a technocrat turd when I see one. You could probably smell him through your screen. This asshole is stealing sacred ancestral grounds from Hawaiians. Absolute scum of the earth.
Your brain's cooked.
I know. These people say your brain's cooked, and I say no, I'm just not a fucking moron who fell victim to the propaganda. And I understand Mark Zuckerberg taking local Kauai's population that was deeded to them, stealing it from out from under them. That's a bad dude. That's their ancestral home, and he wanted to build a tree house with bunkers underneath. I love, to all my people in Hawaii, I love you. And we're going to give you your land back as soon as we, tax these billionaires. All right. Billie Eilish, or as you may know her, William Eilish. Love her. Love her Birds of a Feather song. So good. So good. She was at the Wall Street Journal's, what was it called? Wall Street Journal magazine, Innovator Awards? I don't know, magazine Innovator Award? Who gives a shit? What do you get when you win the Innovator Awards? You know what I mean? You get a little plaque. Do they give you a key to the Innovation City down at Disney World? Is that what it's called? City of Tomorrow? But I want to play this for you. This is old William Eilish. Some of you may know her as Billie. I'm not on that kind of basis with her yet. So I just say, William, good to see you. Love her. Absolutely. She is such a fucking poet, man. Really. Go look at the lyrics, The Birds of a Feather. Absolute poetry. But here she is. Wait a minute.
You all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money.
Oh, by the way, let me just tell you a little bit about the setting. Let me set the stage. Billie Eilish is accepting the Music Innovator Award at the Wall Street Journal Magazine Innovator Awards in New York City on Wednesday, October 29th. During her acceptance speech, with Mark Zuckerberg in the crowd. Why don't they say Facebook founder with the Epstein twins, or what are they? Remember the twins? Winklevoss. What kind of last name is Winklevoss? You know, some people that are like, have last names like Shoemaker. And you're like, oh, those people made shoes. What do the Winklevosses do? I'm sure that's some kind of new age slang. Anyways, Billy gives an acceptance speech, says this, and Zuck's in the crowd. Old Zuck. And he probably was like, she ain't talking to me. Yeah, she is, man. And Billy, solidarity with you. I love you for doing this. So here she is.
Love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire?
Exploitation.
No hate, but
Or you can.
yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys. Thank
Give your money away, shorties. Oh, she's shouting out Joe Rogan.
you so much.
And now here's another clip with the full thing from a different angle. Oh, Crush is here. What's up, Crush? Good to see you. Shout out to the real ones in the chat, 100%.
If you have money, it would be great to use it for good things.
She says, now, if you have money, it would be great to use it for good things, which we know he doesn't. He helps to elect Trump. He, secretly steals people using the court systems, secretly steals Hawaiians' land using like little known court system tricks that he has to pay an army of lawyers to figure out.
Maybe give it to some people that need it.
And she says, and give it to some people that need it. And remember right now, Donald Trump, nepotism baby, grown man who does gender affirming makeup. Maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's the president. Who's a rich kid, a coastal elite from New York, never worked a day in his life, failed multiple businesses and bankrupted 2 casinos, wouldn't have a thing without his daddy. That rich guy decided not to use our taxpayer money that was already allotted for SNAP, not to allow the hungry Americans to eat. Remember that while she's saying this, so good on her.
For good things, and maybe give it to some people that need it. And love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And If you're a billionaire, why are you?
If you're a billionaire, why? Why? Well, because they exploited people. They don't pay people enough, and they're greedy, and you can't satiate greed. So good on her for saying this, you know? Because remember, folks, what we're talking about is people starving in America. So for all the people, and just save it, who go, oh, you lazy, you just want free things for nothing. No, we want our tax money. That's how SNAP is funded. Our tax money to help those who are hungriest. And remember, in America, they're gatekeeping everything. The things to survive, healthcare, food. And they're not gatekeeping it for a good reason, like, oh, we just need to make a profit to stay afloat. No, they're gatekeeping it so certain people can have too much money. So much money, they can't even spend it all. Go look up how much $1 billion is and how long it would take you to spend it. If you want, I'll give you a little shortcut. Look up the Gates Foundation and look up what Warren Buffett are doing. They both have foundations to try to give away at least half or more of their wealth before they die, and they can't even do that. They can't even give it all away. Mackenzie Scott is one of the richest women in the world, and all she did was get divorced from Jeff Bezos, and she gives away tons of money, and she's richer because of the compounding interest on that much money. So before you open your mouth and sound like an absolute turd, just remember that what we're talking about is people needing food to survive versus people having so much money that they're just like a dragon sitting on a pile of gold and they can't even spend it all. They literally can't spend this money. You could not give all this money away. And the proof is these guys exist, and what they do with that money is heinous. They union bust. They fucking don't pay people. I mean, just think about it for 1 second. If you were worth so much money that you knew the interest payment alone could pay for everything, every expense in your life, wouldn't you for a minute be like, you know what, I'm going to be like fucking Superman. I'm going to be like the Avengers, and I'm going to give all my employees an amazing Christmas raise and have their salary doubled for the next year and then doubled again for the next year. Wouldn't you? I mean, you could do so many cool things. And what do we get? We get the billionaires who are so fucking not ever been hugged by their dad that we have guys like this.
Legalize comedy.
Legalize comedy while banning people on the website he bought for being comedians, making fun of him and making fun of all of the shit that they did. I have a whole video on my channel when everybody pretended to be somebody else, and it was hilarious. You should really watch the video. If you missed when Elon Musk took over Twitter and said, we're legalizing comedy, and everybody pretended to be like, you know, Coca-Cola or Banana Republic and said, we haven't over Chiquita Banana, and they said, we haven't overthrown a government since the 50s. And if you missed that, my God, go back into my videos and watch it. I documented the whole thing because it needed to be documented for history. But think about it. You could treat your workers so well that people will be lining up. Not like the capitalist labor shortage lines that we have right now. If you're unaware, lots of layoffs and illegal immigrants, for those who call it that. No poor people, no immigrants cause these companies to lay off all these people. So problem solved, folks. If you're the moron who thought poor people were the ones that you had to take your country back from, this proves it. No immigrants and no poor people laid off 48,000 people at UPS. Amazon, who we reported the story, wants to replace 600,000 workers with AI, and I say, great, awesome. Let's implement universal basic income, universal healthcare, and then Amazon, use all the robots. We don't give a shit. We heard it's horrible to work for you anyways. You got to poop in a bottle. Never tried to do that and wouldn't want to. I don't know why Jeff Bezos is so infatuated with having his employees pee and poop in bottles. Real story, look it up. But it's, you know, the kind of sick people that have so much wealth and then enjoy hearing about other people suffering. Just so you know, Jeff Bezos, his company laying off 30,000 people with Andy Jassy, who I bet he likes something up his Jassy. Andy Jassy isn't the one taking your job. Is the one taking your job. It turns out it's not the poor people who want to work to eat, to afford that egg. All the people trying to chip in to buy one egg a week. Those aren't the people you have to worry about. It's the people who are laying everybody off. It's the people like this dude right here who is a
Chicken jockey.
That's not what I was looking for. I can't find it. But just so you're wondering, if you're one of the Maroons who bought like a bumper sticker that says "Take our country back," I hate to break it to you. Poor people have never run this country. The system is structurally rigged against poor people and anybody who works hard. So what we're trying to do is take it back from the corrupt people like this and Epstein's best friend. You know this guy. We're never forgetting. You know him. You know him. Well, I know some of you in the chat know him. When you say MAGA, you know what we understand that to mean? That you love Epstein's best friend. And you are so happy that the files aren't released because that would look really bad for Pedo Pan over here, okay? So we know. We know you wear a red hat to identify yourself. And we go, ooh, not safe with any children. Keep an eye out. Are those kids yours, buddy? Because we know what that red hat means. You love these two. But yeah, we got to take our country back from people like this, companies like this, who pay nothing into the system, exploit the people who do work and actually pay into the system, and then try to legalize corruption and buy off our politicians so we have no fight back. And we're saying, no, we're going to change it. More and more people are waking up. More and more people are joining the community. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. And more people are saying, oh, yeah, you're right. The system is rigged against the worker. Just a short 30, 40 years ago, you could work one job and not, die in debt because you broke your leg once, Just a few short years ago. I remember that shit. People could work one job and buy a house. Now people are working 3 jobs, renting while, hoping to chip in on egg. Everybody's worried about the price of egg. And then if you actually go and read those stories about how egg prices went up, it turns out it wasn't a bird flu or anything. It was just the fucking people the 2 companies that own all the eggs in America were like, oh, we're just going to fucking say there's a shortage, jack up the prices, and our profits explode. But because media literacy in America goes like this, in the mainstream media, this is what I'm also trying to get you to understand. Polio Rogan, the little 4'8" man who's in Austin, Texas, who claims to be a comedian, but he steals jokes from Brendan Schwab. You know that little guy? He's mainstream media. He has the CIA on all the time. Peter Thiel, whose companies work for the government. He has government people and special government employees, illegal immigrant, Elon Musk.
Legalize comedy.
But this is the guy I'm talking about, who's mainstream media.
Enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? And Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you.
I wonder what he's reading there. Wonder what that is. President said he didn't doodle, so I'm sure you believe that, don't you? Ooh, we got some dummies in the house. Ooh, I love the dummies. What do you think, Trump? What do you think?
Smart people don't like me.
Smart people don't like you. I fucking hate you. But there's a lot of dummies out there. That's what he's saying. 17% of Republicans that are registered Republicans still consider themselves MAGA who support Trump, and 17% of those registered Republicans are what kind of people?
Smart people don't like me.
Well, if smart people don't like you, Donald, who does that leave? I know those 17% can't figure it out. They're fucking morons. That's what they are. Hit subscribe, moron. So this is how media literacy works in America, because the media, the corporations, are not your friend. Public, we need sandwiches. Republicans, we agree you need sandwiches. Democrats, we agree you need sandwiches. Republicans, we're voting Sunday at 5 on a bill that gives us ham sandwiches and gives everyone else poop sandwiches. Democrats, that's not going to help anyone. Republicans, Democrats oppose sandwiches. And now the media, including Polio Rogan. This is what they do. Breaking. Democrats vote against a sandwich bill. Yeah, right. So it's pretty important to have media literacy. But in a country that doesn't even value education, that's always a befuddling thing to me. in a country that says, like, one of the taglines of a cult was "Make America Great." But then if you ask them about education, higher education, funding regular education for kids so they don't have to work in coal mines and smoke Lucky Strikes, they say no. They call it woke and it's bad and they make fun of it. Like education, like learning to read and write and have media literacy and knowing stuff, they think is dumb. I don't know how to explain this, but in a country where there's a segment of a cult, not even of the population, but just a little tiny cult that's very confidently stupid and very loud. You've seen them. They wear red hats. They don't value education. So what makes a country great? I would think it's like really smart people. Like, I don't know. Think back through history. Are we celebrating morons? When you read about history, are you like, no. We don't need to read about George Washington. Who got Darwin Award of the Year in 1776? I don't want to read about the founding fathers who wrote some too long didn't read document. I want to learn about the guy who died from getting tarred and feathered. That's who I want to read about. Like, these people on their face are stupid. They don't want to get our country smarter. They don't want to fund education. They think they're scared of higher education and call it woke because when you start to learn about how these systems are rigged against you, I guess that's bad. I don't know. Ignorance is bliss, I guess. And Donald Trump even said,
Smart people don't like basic.
we know smart people do not like you. But when you ask them what makes their country great, it's not education. It's not having the healthiest people in the world, because here in America, you could look this up, we pay the most for healthcare, but our life expectancy is dropping lower every single year. So what would make us great? We don't tax wealth, we tax more work. The richest people pay almost nothing, while the people who work very hard pay the most. They elected a guy, Pedo Pan, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's the president. He's best friends with Epstein. And this is an old photo. This looks like a 1990s photograph, folks. Epstein showed Michael Wolff Polaroid pictures of Donald Trump sitting with girls, not women, girls of an uncertain age, topless, sitting on his lap. That's why he doesn't want the files released. He had to have an FBI team black out his name because he's so much in the file. His name is so in these files that he had to have a team paid for by our taxes of FBI agents to cross out his name, check mark, ear flap, dog ear, his name. What makes our country great then? I just want an answer. And they can't answer you. They won't answer you. They assume this position. But sometimes, when you just start to think about it, and you understand that the truth of it is they don't want it to be great as smart people, healthy people, people that don't have to worry about price of egg, people that own their own home. This is the truth. Trump supporters don't measure his success by what he does for them, because he hasn't done anything. They measure it by what he does against people they don't like. That's why they see him as successful. This is why they'll never abandon him. His tormenting of others sustains them. Now, if you're wondering, if you've been outside and gone to the shopping plaza, if those still exist, and maybe we just all gonna have to shop at Amazon. Ugh, gross. I want to remind you what all his Republicans said about tariffs. If you're wondering why food is expensive right now, and it is. I remember what it cost last year. I budget. I have to watch how much I'm spending on food, and it turns out this year, one bag of food is very expensive. But here's some of his lackeys, his goons, the Trump goons, just like Zuckerberg, he's a Trump goon. This is what they had to say about tariffs.
Isn't paid by the exporter. Tax on Americans. A tariff isn't paid by the exporter. China's not going to pay the tariff. The buyer's going to pay the tariff.
Donald Trump has proposed a 40% tariff, which is a tax on all of you. I think raising your taxes by 40% would kill jobs all across this country.
I have never agreed with the president's tariff policy, and that's why
Joni
I do
Ernst.
call him and I say, Mr. President, I need to talk to you about these tariffs.
I don't know how you call him when you got your head so far up his butt, but, you know, you don't believe in science, so I guess it happens.
And he will come back and he'll say, oh, Joni, I know that you don't like tariffs, but I'm a tariff guy.
Taxing European car imports hurts BMW because they can do the same thing to us. China wins.
Lindsey Graham is such a fart in the room. He's like a stale fart. You ever walked into a room and you went, oh, did somebody fart in here an hour ago and not like crack a door? That's Lindsey Graham. God, I can't even listen to any more of this. Let's talk about Snap real quick. This is Mallory Marrow. Mick Morrow? What is that like? Is Mick Morrow the Scottish tomorrow? Oh yeah, you see this article? I wonder why top Trump officials are moving to military bases. Before we get into that, I want to play Mallory McMorrow, which I just think that's Scottish for the tomorrow. McMorrow. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you.
There are years worth of funding available for the SNAP program, our tax dollars that we have already paid to the federal government to facilitate this program, and the Trump administration deleted this language from the website this morning. They are hiding the fact that not only is there more than enough funding to pay these benefits that we have already paid our tax dollars into, but that there was contingency language to ensure that even in the event of a government shutdown, that SNAP would go uninterrupted. The Trump administration and the Republicans supporting him are using food as a political weapon. This is a choice. They chose to delete this language. They are choosing to force children to go hungry. We will not stand for that choice, and I encourage a yes vote.
They're choosing. The cruelty is the point, like I played for you before. Trump supporters, the few. I think he's like the least popular president ever from the polls, which who gives a shit about polls? But, you know, I could tell you just from him being Epstein's friend, least popular president ever for me. You know, that's how I feel about it. That's right. I feel like the old pedos, they should be scared again. They're not good people. I don't care how many of you idiots support them. But this could have been funded. Crush Dice. Sub, share, like, and smash the notification bell because I go live every weekday. I'm here joking about the news because the news is a joke. It's sad, but sometimes it is hilarious. That's why I had to create the word sad-larious. Patent pending, copyright. Webster's Dictionary, reach out to me. I'll lend you the word for a monthly fee. Who said Peter Peters? Is that a real name, Peter Peters? I like it. Peter Peters. He said all, exclamation, 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 countries have universal health insurance, guys. All developed countries except USA, and then laughed at us. Yeah. We could have it. It's just like there's people in Kentucky who are on a government subsidized program who are like, no. We're like, why? And they're like, because other people might get it. And it's like, yeah, but it will benefit you. Do you understand that when leftists, I'm not a Democrat, when leftists take over, we want you to have free ambulance rides. Like free ambulance rides for everybody. Nobody should ever have a heart attack and then be like, wait, maybe call it Uber, it's cheaper. Oh, I died. Oh no, now we got to sell the home for my funeral costs. Like that's fucking America. And why can't we have it? Because some white people in the fucking Bible Belt who claim to worship Jesus, who said love your neighbor unselfishly, can't even understand what he said and claim to speak for him because they wear a cross around his neck and do damage to his image. My God, Jesus is going to say, get back from me, Satan. I do not know you. Joel Osteen, who blocked me on Twitter. Fuck you, Joel. I just tweeted Jesus' sayings at him, and he got so mad. Oh, my God. You figure a guy with that much money, you know? untaxed money. You figure a guy with that much untaxed church moolah wouldn't be so fragile. What a baby. Having Kanye West up on stage saying, "Send us your seed money, poor people, and we promise God will bless you." But we could have, when the leftists, because remember this quote, when institutions fail, you don't reform them, you replace them. And Donald Trump is expediting the failure of this capitalist system. And when socialism takes over and we implement all these great things, and you love socialism, I know you'll cry about it and you act scared about it because you don't know what the definition is, but military, fire department, police department, post office, Social Security, all these great things are socialism. And we're going to implement that here in America. And when we do, you might have a loved one who had breast cancer and went far into debt because of it. Never happen again. Not on my watch. You might have a loved one who had a heart attack and said, "Don't call the ambulance. I can't afford a $7,000 ambulance ride. I can't be paying those kind of medical bills." And Donald Trump, because he doesn't give a shit about any American, because he's an entitled brat. He was born a rich kid. So he just banned states from being able to wipe medical debt from Americans' credit reports. So while this orange, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's a President turd, who's Epstein's best friend, by the way. He's all over the Epstein files. That's why they're not going to... Somebody said that they're not going to have Congress come back until the new year. So what is in those files? We got to know, folks. Call your senator. I've written mine twice, and he's just ignoring me. But Donald Trump doesn't care about you. I do. I know, some of you are not smart people. Donald Trump said it.
Smart people don't like me.
So all the people who don't like Trump, you're smart people. There's a good contingent of people who really like Trump, and he said, listen to what he said, they're not smart.
Smart people don't like me.
Smart people don't like him. That leaves dummies. Dummies like him. So dummies, listen up. When the leftists take over and we implement socialism, I know it's very scary words for you. They're big. They're more than like 2-3 letters. You're never going to have to know somebody that has a heart attack, and instead of taking an ambulance to save their life, they say, check the cost of Uber. That will never happen on our watch. Crush Dice. Hold on. Crush Dice with the super chat. Thank you, Crush. So kind of you. Brado says socialism is not the answer. Really? Brad, I'm sure you love the military and getting your post office mail and the police department, thin blue line, Brad, or whatever you are. Shut up. I'm so tired of these people who have never even tried it. And they're like, no, too scary for me. I enjoy all the benefits of it, but too scary for me. Socialism is going to work. That's how we're going to implement it. We're going to tax billionaires into extinction. We're going to get rid of these healthcare insurance CEOs who are profiting using AI algorithm and systems to deny your doctor who says this person needs this medical thing. And they say, AI, take care of that. The humans have trouble denying doctors. And then you don't get your health coverage. Also, a company with some foreign fucking CEO can just make a little bit more money. Not money he needs. He's not worried about the price of egg. Well, your broken leg or your measles come back or whatever the fuck's going on with RFK Jr. I don't know. He's telling everybody to take vitamin A. Oh, that sounds real smart from a guy who used to be a junkie. Why don't you just shut the fuck up, RFK? Huh? Nobody wants to hear from you, buddy. Oh, somebody called me insufferable. Well, leave. Leave. Don't show me how stupid you are by staying someplace that's insufferable. Unless you're one of those people, and what did Donald Trump say they were?
Smart people don't like me.
Okay, smart people don't like him. Who's left? Stupid people. Unless you're one of those people who wants me to plant a seed in your brain. You know how Elon Musk wants to put a chip in your brain, but right now he's killing hundreds of thousands of monkeys or millions? I don't know. We can't get the reports because he probably tinkered with the government. Hold on. Aritas? $9.99 super chat. Why, thank you so much. Don't eye to eye with you politically, but respect you as a fellow Bostonian and your passion. My grandpa was Kevin White. Hope you have a lovely day. Was he really Kevin White? Really? Because if so, Atreus, you should come on and talk some old school Boston with us. KRAR, good to see you, by the way. Aridus. How do you pronounce that? I'm going to pronounce it wrong until you fix, you do the phonetic spelling for me. But that's cool. Have you seen, there's a guy who does all Boston history, mafia stuff, and I forget his name. Oh my God, I'm blanking on his name. He has an amazing channel here on YouTube, and he started it recently. He's a North Shore kid too. If I remember it, I'll throw it out there. But Aridus, we have a Discord, link in the description. And you can disagree with my politics all you want. As long as you're not a MAGA pedo pan supporter, that's fine. But you just got to understand that the status quo, the way America's been going, where people need more and more jobs to afford less and less, is horrible. And nobody should defend the status quo, and nobody should defend the working class being run out of their homes, out of food, out of healthcare. And that's what's happening right now. So let's not go back to the way things were, and let's pave a new way. I like to remind people, all these people that talk about the founding fathers and how, oh, America. Well, guess what? At the time of the founding fathers, they had just gotten out of a monarchy. They broke up with their monarch, King George III. They created something new. We can do the same thing. All this shit that you've been propagandized to believe is just the way it is. I say it doesn't have to be. We need a 3-day work week. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That's it. Friday through Monday, weekend. And we could do that. There's more of us than there are of them, guys. That's why we're the 99%. And if we just say, yeah, who the fuck wants to work 5 days in a row? Screw that noise. And if these CEOs are such hard workers, let them do it, right? Funny, they're never at work when they're always giving speeches and lectures on how hard they worked. Oh, really? Elon Musk put a video game system in his government office. I'm sure he was working real hard. Give me a break. But Aridus, join the Discord. We'll connect. Brad, you commented like 10 minutes ago, bud. Just leave. Just leave, guys. These people are so sad. Listen, I know some of you don't have friends, and it's tough out there. We're in a new digital age. You know, the young kids are even lonely. The older folks are even lonely. These computers in our pocket made us all disconnected, even though they connected us even more. So people are feeling lonely. So I get it. You just want to hear another human voice in that empty, echoing room of yours. But you know what I'm fighting for? Brad and all those other guys who are like, oh, I'm out of here. And then 10 minutes later, they keep commenting. I'm fighting for you to own your own home, never worry or vote again on the price of egg, to never go into medical debt, to get as highly educated as you want, to be able to afford food and a home, guys. People are renting more. People are living in RVs more in America. Is that the American dream? Get the fuck out of here. You just joined the screen, the banner behind you. I was talking about how we shouldn't have medical debt. We can redo this whole system so there is no for-profit healthcare system like the rest of the world has guaranteed healthcare as a human right. And I said, if you think this coastal elite Nepo baby cares about you, just look into his history. He's rich because of his dad, Fred. He bankrupted casinos. He's never worked a day in his life. He had bone spurs that only happened to last during Vietnam. That was it. Just during the Vietnam War. And then the bone spurs were gone. So he's not only a liar, but he's in the Epstein files. Pedo Pan. And I was saying, he don't care about you because he would be doing stuff for you. But the insufferable maggots, M-A-G-A-T-S, they don't judge him on anything besides, well, they assume the position first. That's how they're all commenting. You see the arms tucked in down there? They have the phone commenting furiously about how we're going to do things how they used to be. We're going to take away women's rights and no more, we're going to have separate but equal, Jim Crow. You know, they're angry. They feel like the system has pushed them to the side and forgotten about them, not realizing that these guys are the system. They voted for a system guy to help them. But the truth about them is they're just hateful. That's the truth. So that's the truth. I mean, we're going to fix this. No more nurses paying 22% taxes while Netflix and Jeff Bezos pay nothing into the system. We're going to fix it. Because you know what he does with his money? Do you know what? And Billie Eilish, by the way, let me play what she said again, because God bless Billie Eilish. I don't know her that well, so maybe I have to call her William Eilish. Absolutely love her. Where is she? There. Sorry. Love Birds of a Feather. But she said this when Mark Zuckerberg was in the room and she was accepting an award. She was using her platform to speak some good into the world. So I give her credit because not enough people are doing this.
Love you all, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a
Why are you a billionaire? Because you exploited people. Because your greed can't be satiated. Once you have $1 billion, you have no worry. This is what I want people to understand too. When you have $1 billion, you're not worried about car payment, egg payment, healthcare payment. You probably have a private doctor waiting in your house where the doctor just waits for you to have a sneeze and then he comes and wipes your nose for you and your butt. And then on the other side of that coin, we're talking about Americans, hardworking Americans who still need food assistance because no job pays a living wage because the federal minimum wage has been at $7.25 since 2009. It should be $66 an hour right now. And if that shocks you, then just shut up and move on. Go to Tim Pool's live stream or show or program, Culture War, whatever he does, and he'll tell you how the green M&M is really the reason your wages have been kept stagnant. So $66 minimum wage. But why do these billionaires still need more when the other part of the country, the 99% part of the country, is going food insecure, starving? 1 in 5 kids, 1 in 5 American children are food insecure. That's a fancy word Americans had to make up saying going hungry every day. Empty homes for every homeless person. So I don't know if you're a math person or economicnists, but just think about those numbers. We make a lot of food. Walmart throws a shitload away. How could we solve this problem? We have a bunch of empty homes. How can we solve this problem? Oh, all the people that go, we need to build more. No, we have a lot of empty homes. Go to Airbnb right now. Go see how many empty homes are in your neighborhood.
a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys.
She's quoting Jesus right there. Do you know that? Billie Eilish. Billionaire, leather breath, white night ass maggots. Taking notes. Thank you for the $2. Billionaire, leather breath, white night ass maggots. That makes me want to go to your YouTube channel and find out what kind of cartoons are you making, man? What's up, man? What's up, Jeff G? Casual mechanic. This is why Trump said smart people don't like him. Because he says, imagine being upset people made better life choices than you. Casual mechanic. I know a lot of well-educated, well-employed people that are struggling right now. Has nothing. This is where, what do I say? You're like a peacock with a beautiful plumage of stupidity, and think that 86% of Americans struggling with grocery prices is bad life choices. Again, typical bot behavior, man. I love that Billie Eilish is quoting Jesus here. I'll play it again for you, the whole thing. But when she says, give your money away, you could go into the Bible. Jesus told the rich man, you want to really follow me? Sell all your things. Give the money to the poor. Look at that. William Eilish quoting Jesus.
Well, but there's a few people in here that have a lot more money than me. And if you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate, but yeah, give your money away, shorties. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
And that might even be an exact Jesus quote. I can't bring it up right now, but hold on. Jesus, because did Jesus say shorties at the end? Maybe she was just quoting the Bible. I should have looked this up before, sorry. Matthew 19:21. Bible Hub. Matthew 19:21. Jesus answered, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me. I'm assuming this is when he was talking to the rich man. But he also told his disciples, gather your things, sell them, and give the money to the poor. But again, for all you Bible thumper, for all you Christians who like to hide behind a cross and claim that you're doing things in the name of the Lord, Jesus was just quoted loosely, because I don't think he said shorties, by Billie Eilish when she said, give your money away, billionaires. And ironically, or not ironically, but Jesus coincidentally did the same thing. He said to the rich man, Jesus said, if you want to be perfect, go sell your possessions and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come follow me. Imagine that. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with that because that was beautiful. Billie Eilish, American hero. Keep talking that good news. Keep spreading the good word to Zuckerberg and his evil cohorts who are hoarding all the money. If you're worried about people hoarding money, don't look at the poor people. Don't look at the people trying to just eat and have SNAP to eat, to put food on the plate, to feed hungry kids. If you're worried about people hoarding money, there's billionaires hoarding billions, sitting on billions like dragons hoarding gold. Stop looking at your neighbors. In fact, you should look up what Jesus said about your neighbors. I believe he said, love them unselfishly. I don't know. It's just the Bible. It's just what Jesus said. Just like Billie Eilish quoting Jesus said, give your money away. So amazing. So proud of Billie for doing that. She's punk rock. And for all the haters in the chat, you can hit subscribe too. Hit the notification bell. I'm here every weekday. For all the haters in the chat, I say, get back from me, Satan. Quote Jesus right there too. And these people that do not know Jesus, I quote Jesus exactly, Satan. I know Satan in the chat, standing up for Pedo Pan. I read the Bible every day. In red is our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And if he's not, that's okay. You're still a child of God and he loves you. Jesus said, this is the second. You shall unselfishly love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other greater commandment than these. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Much love. Crush Dice, KRAR. If I missed anybody, much love to you. And to all the new subscribers, welcome to the family. Welcome to the community. Welcome to the coalition. We're going to make this world a better place, whether MAGA likes it or not. We're going to give them free ambulance rides too.